Hello, welcome to Solo Playthroughs. We are going to return to everyone's favorite island, go to Spirit Island, and get another game of Spirit Island under my belt for this channel. So let's start randomizing. I am going to do one of the 4 non-thematic boards. Again, they show up better for the videos, so I stick with them. We are doing board B. Board B has a Dahan in number 1. It has a city in number 2, due to 2 Dahan in number 3, a Blight in land 4, a Dahan in nothing in land 5, a town in land 6, a Dahan in land 7, and 2 Dahan in land 8. As well, since we are going to be playing with the Branch and Claw expansion, we will put a beast in the lowest numbered land that does not have a pre-printed setup icon. That will be land 5, and we are going to put a disease in land 2. The thematic side of the boards has actual icons for where the beast and the wilds and all the other assorted tokens will go. But when you're playing with the non-thematic boards, you just put a 1 beast and 1 disease on the board, as I did here. Alright, I am going to choose one of these 4 adversaries. So I'm just going to roll a die, 1, 2, 3, or 4. Actually, we already did France and we already did Sweden. Let's do something new. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a 1 on that die. So we're going to do the Kingdom of Bradenburg-Prussia. I'll put that up here and let's take a look. Bradenburg-Prussia. There is no additional loss condition. The stage 2 escalation is that on each board with a town or a city, we add 1 town to a land that does not have a town. During setup, we're going to let's do level 3 and hope we end up with a fast spirit here. So level 3, so level 1, again, these levels are cumulative as you go down. So level 1, the fast start during setup on each board, add a town to land number 3. Surge of Colonists. When making the Invader deck, we're going to put one of the stage 3 cards between a stage 1 and the stage 2, and then level 3, when making the Invader deck, we're going to remove an additional stage 1 card. So our final deck will be 1, 1, 3, 4 2s, and 4 3s. So I have the Invader deck here. Let's get that set. I'm going to roll a die to take one of those out. I roll the 1 again, so that goes out. We're going to take one of these 5, so I'll roll the die. 6 isn't good, 5. So the bottom 4 cards of the deck are ready. We're going to look at the stage 2 Invader cards. We're going to take one of these cards out. I rolled a 5. And then we're going to take the last 3, put that on top of the 2s, and then we're going to remove 2 of these 1s. I roll 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I rolled a 3. So our Invader deck is set. So as you can tell from setup, the game of Spirit Island against Bradenburg-Prussia is a lot quicker than against some of the other adversaries. So they are going to start expanding, get to the higher levels of the Invader deck, and give the spirits less time to be able to get to that point where they can overtake what's going on the board and as they try to defend their island. The upside of Bradenburg-Prussia is some of the escalator and some of the other things that the adversary does in the different levels is a lot more forgiving than, say, France or England, especially. So it's a little easier to get on top of the adversary in that sense. But again, you do want a fast developing spirit, one that can get a lot of presence on the board pretty quick. So I will set the Fear deck. The Veer deck against level 3 Bradenburg-Prussia is a 3-4-3. So there'll be 10 Fear cards total. So I'm shuffling all my Fear cards together. We are going to take the top 3, put them on the bottom, put Terror level 3, the Terror level 3 card there, 4 more, the Terror level 2 card, and then 3 more to set our Fear deck. Alright, we will randomly pick one of these Blighted Island cards. So I have a row of 4, row of 3. I rolled a 5, so we're going to go at the bottom row here. And then 6 isn't good, 6 still isn't good, and a 5. So we're going to put 2 blight on the Healthy Island card, and hopefully we can stay healthy. I got my 4 fear and my fear pool. I have all my tokens set up. My event deck does need to be shuffled. And we'll go from there. Haven't played Spirit Island in a while. I've actually been busy getting my butt kicked in Robinson Crusoe, and I've been experimenting with some of the new Arkham investigators lately. It's kind of been the bulk of my solo gaming lately. Have had the opportunity to do a lot of 2-player 7th Continent, some 3-player Arkham. So I've definitely been keeping my gaming. Had my days full with some gaming recently, which I've enjoyed. Had the opportunity to play the new Terraforming Mars Turmoil expansion. Wasn't a big fan really at all, but was happy to see what that was all about. And then actually had a weekend of Dominion with my wife and good friends of ours who really love that game. So that was kind of a nice little throwback gaming day. Hadn't played that game in a while. All right, moment of truth. Everything else is ready. Everything is shuffled. We are now going to pick our spirit. I will not play either of the spirits I was the last 2 times. So we're going to take out Spread of Rampant Green and Sharp Fangs. And let's see what my spinning wheel says. The Bringer of Dreams and Nightmares. Yowza. Alright, that could be tough against Bradenburg. But we shall see. Not one of my stronger spirits. But he is a fun challenge. That is for sure. So the Bringer of Dreams and Nightmares. To set up, we're going to put 2 presents on the starting board in the highest numbered sand. So we'll put him right there with the beast. Complexity is high. He is a fear monster. His offense is terrible, though. He does not destroy towns. He does not destroy cities. He basically just pushes things around, and he can't even destroy towns. Can't even destroy cities. Can't even push cities around. So it does become a bit of a race to see if you can scare the invaders off your island before they do enough blight to destroy you. All right. So again, Bringer of Dreams and Nightmares. His growth options, there are 4, which we will get to as we play. You'll see his presence track, his cards. His presence track goes through air and moon, so using the elements is really important in getting the most out of the Bringer of Dreams and Nightmares. His card plays, it takes 3 presents from the bottom row before you can get to 3 card plays a turn, which does present a challenge. All right. Special rules: to dream 1,000 deaths. Your powers never cause damage, nor can they destroy anything other than your own presence. When a power of yours would destroy or deal enough damage to destroy a town, a city, or an explorer, you generate 2, 5, or 0 fear instead. The power pushes all of the explorers and towns it would destroy. Again, does not push cities. Note, a single power cannot destroy a given invader more than once. Powers which cause damage via Dahan are affected just like all other powers. All effects other than damage destroy work as normal. All right. So I do want to clarify that. Powers which cause damage via Dahan are affected just like all the others. However, Dahan still do retaliate like normal. That is not a power, that is not a god power or a spirit power doing that. And if the Dahan retaliate does destroy something, including a city, it will be destroyed. So we want to keep careful attention to any opportunities to clear out some of the invaders using the Dahan. So if you can get strong defensive powers, that will help. If you can kind of combinations of defensive powers and Dahan retaliating is a good way to really keep the board under control. But really, let's be real, we're not going to get a level 2 fear victory or level 1 fear, well, definitely not getting a level 1 terror level. We're not getting a terror level 1 victory. We're not getting a terror level 2 victory. We're not getting a terror level 3 victory. When you play with the Bringer of Dreams and Nightmares, you are trying to get a fear victory altogether. So that means our task right now is we need to generate 40 fear such that we go through all 10 of these fear cards, all right, as quickly as possible. And again, we're in a race against the fastest adversary there is, because Bradenburg-Prussia has one less fear card and has a level 3 card coming up very quickly. All right, so that is that. The Innate Powers, Bringer of Dreams and Nightmares, has 2. They are both fast. 1 if you have 2 moons and 2 air elements. Then turn any face down fear card face up. It's earned resolve normally, but players can see what's coming. And then if you have 3 moons, the target spirit gains an element they have at least 1 of. So in that case, if you have 3 moons and 1 air, in effect, you would actually be able to do... nope, that doesn't work that way. No, because you have to go in order. So if you had 3 moons and an air, though, you would be able to get the other air for the other innate power, which is Night Terrors. That is a fast power. It has to be done at... You have to basically have spirit in a land with invaders. If you have 1 moon and 1 air, you generate 1 fear. If you have 2 moons, 1 air, and 8 animal, you have plus 1 fear, so 2 fear total. And if you have 3 moons, 1 air, and an animal, you would get plus 1 fear on top of that, so you get 3 fear total for that 1 power. And since we're considering we need to generate 40, being able to generate 3 is almost 10% of what we need. So I mean, it's a nice innate power. If we can start doing that pretty much every turn, that will get us well on our way to being able to achieve a fear victory against Bradenburg-Prussia. So here we go. So I need to put the rest of these on the board. Bringer of Dreams and Nightmares has, again, 4 growth options, and you only pick 1. The first option is you reclaim cards and gain a power card. The second one is you can reclaim 1 card and add a presence to a place where you already have presence. The third option is you gain a power card and add 1 presence to a land within a range of 1 of where you already have presence. And the last one is you can add a presence to a land that has Dahan or invaders that's within 4 of a place where you already have presence. All right, so that's actually a really nice way to get all around the board using that last one. Plus you would gain 2 energy. All right, so let me get my 4 Spirit Island card. I'm sorry, my 4 Bringer of Dreams and Nightmares cards. My 4 base powers are as follows. Dreams of the Dahan. It has a moon and a sky. It is a fast power. I have range of 2 in any land. I can either gather up to 2 Dahan, or if the target land has a town or a city, I gain 1 fear for each Dahan to a maximum of 3. My other card that costs 0 is the Call on Midnight's Dream. It is a fast power that has to be done in the land where I have presence. If target land has Dahan, gain a major power. If you forget this power, meaning this actual card, but when you gain the major power, you gain energy equal to the number of Dahan and may immediately play the major power, paying its cost. Or if you don't choose to do that one, if invaders are present, you just get 2 fear. And then again, this has a moon and a animal. My other 2 base powers cost 2 presence each. I'm sorry, 2 energy each. One is Predatory Nightmares. It is a slow power. It can be played if I have a target land with invaders within 1 of where I have a sacred place. I can do 2 damage. I can push up to 2 Dahan. When your powers would destroy invaders, instead they generate fear and or push those invaders. Thank you for the reminder. My other card is Dread. Oh, and that card has a moon, a fire, a earth, and an animal element tags. My last card is Dread Apparitions. Dread Apparitions has a moon and a sky. It is a fast power. It can be, the target land can be a land with invaders within 1 of where I already have spirit. And when powers generate fear in target land, I can defend 1 per fear. And in addition, this power in itself does 1 fear. So it's basically like a defend 1 to start, and then we'll see how many other fear we can generate. So let me pick my growth option. Well, first we'll do the initial explore action for the invaders. The invaders are exploring into sands. Alright. So, we definitely have our work cut out for us. Gotta actually move these out of the way so I give myself a little playing surface for my cards. I think that will do. Now, so I don't need to defend this turn, so we're fine with that. We know that the invaders are building in sand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play I want to be able to generate fear. I think this card makes the most sense. Alright, so I'm going to save these two. I'm going to use my last growth option here. I'm going to add a presence to a land that has Dahan or invaders within 4 of where I already have presence. So I'm going to add a presence here. Alright, so then I'm going to go to my presence phase. I'm going to take 2 energy. Oh, and I get 2 energy from the growth phase as well. And then I'm going to get 2 energy for the presence phase. I have 2 card plays. I'm going to pick these 2 cards. That gives me, that only costs 2. This one's free. I'll put the energy there to show that I have paid for it. And then I'm going to see what I've unlocked. I do have the error symbol on my presence track, so I do unlock that. I do not have the 3 moons. But then coming over here, I do have night terrors up to the 2nd level because I have 2 moons, 1 air, and then 1 animal. So that is that. I'm going to do my fast powers. I am going to turn any face down fear card face up. So the next fear card coming up is too many monsters. Each player can remove a city or a town from a land with a beast. That's kind of nice. I'm a fan of that. And then what we're going to do with this night terrors, I'm going to do 2 fear. Already start pushing that fear train down the track, so to speak. And then my dreams of the Dahan, I can either gather up to 2 Dahan, or if target land has towns or cities, I can get 1 fear up to for each Dahan to a maximum of 3. There are 2 Dahan here. There is a town, so I am going to generate 2 fear for that, which allows me to earn my first fear card. Again, Bringer of Dreams and Nightmares is bringing a lot of dreams and mostly nightmares. So we are done with our fast powers. We're going to then go to the rest of the turn order. So the next effect would be the Blighted Island effect. We're healthy, so we don't have to worry about that. We're going to pull our first event card. I don't remember if I shuffled these or not. Well, the special France event card's in here, but if it comes up, I'll just set it aside and we'll deal with that later. But top event card, these are a little curved. All right, top event card. Missionaries arrive. They teach and spread lessons of a foreign god. We have 2 options as normal. We can either, option A is ignore their contact with the Dahan. Option B is curse the tongues of the foreigners. All right, option A. If we do option A, which would be ignoring the contact with the Dahan, On each board, we can discard the top minor power. If it has a sun, we push one explorer from a land with Dahan. Otherwise, we replace one Dahan with a town. After resolving this card, we return it to the event deck under the top 2 cards. So this is going to basically keep haunting us. Or we can curse the tongues of the foreigners, which would be 4 energy, aided by a sun. So aided by, let's just review for those who don't know. Aided by means if for every sun element that we would have in play, we would get a credit for 1 energy. For every sun that we have in a card that we haven't played yet, we could discard that card and get 2 energy if it has a credit for 2 energy if it has a sun element. Or in the most extreme example, we could actually forget a power that has a sun element and get credit for 4 energy. Now, I am the bringer of dreams and nightmares, not exactly Mr. Sunshine here. So I have no ability at all to get credit for anything with the sun. So honestly, it doesn't matter what this card would do for me. We are going to see this card in about 3 events, as it says. And I don't even have 4 energy to spend to try to do the first thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to ignore the contact with the Dahan. On each board, we're going to discard the top minor power. It does not have a sun. If it is a sun, push 1 explorer from a land with Dahan. Otherwise, we are going to replace 1 Dahan with a town. And we are going to replace a Dahan with a town here. So down to 5 Dahan, not great. And after resolving this card, we're going to turn it to the event deck under the top 2 cards. Now we haven't resolved this card yet because we still have to go to the bottom. Each beast destroys 1 explorer. So we're going to destroy, we have 1 beast, there's 1 explorer there, so we got lucky. And that is done. And now we're going to return this under the top 2 cards of the event deck. So kind of evened out, except we are just down 1 Dahan, because if that card wasn't there, then this would have built, but because the card was there, this doesn't build, but now we have a town next door in the Montañas. Alright, so that was the event phase. We're done with that. We go to fear effects. Each player removes, well, that kind of sucked, because each player removes a city or a town from a land with a beast, so that was already done for us by the event card, which kind of stinks. So this will go here. Alright, we now go to the explorer actions. The explorers are going to build, they are going to build a city in the sands. They are not going to build here, there's nothing to build. We'll go to the explore action. They are going to explore into jungles. Cards are going to advance. We have a wonderful phase 3 card coming up because of Bradenburg-Prussia. And now we go to the slow powers. Alright, slow powers. I can do 2 damage, 1 away from where I have a sacred place, and I can push up to 2 Dahan. So, what do I want to do? I want to do 2 damage. So my options are I could try to destroy. I could basically destroy one of these 2 towns and generate 2 fear and move it, because when you destroy, when you're bringing dreams and nightmares again, you're not removing it from the board. Or I could just try to prevent this build. I think that makes more sense. I've already generated 4 fear. I don't know if continuing to chase that fear makes sense. So at this very instance, because I'm worried about a lot of building happening, especially with the extra town already on the board. So I am going to do 2 damage here, which allows me to push this guy someplace, and I'll actually push him. I'll push him here back to the sands, and we'll go from there. And that doesn't generate any fear because I chose to just push the explorer instead of destroying one of those towns. Well, destroying, because you don't really destroy with Dreams and Nightmares. I'll probably say that 17 times. Alright, so that is that. We now go to the time passes phase, and then we go back to the growth phase. So I'm going to take my last 2 cards here, And let's see what we want to do. So I think I need to gain a power card is what I think I need to do. So let me gain a power card. And I can put a presence one away from where I already have presence. I will put this presence here and try to start spreading out on the board. I'm going to gain a power card. We'll make it a minor power. Take 4 cards. My options are, again, I look to elements first, and then we kind of figure out what I want from there. Ooh, sun's nice. So Portents of Disaster has a sun, a moon, and an air, and costs 0. So, oh, they all 4 have suns. That's crazy. All right. Song of Sanctity has a sun, a water, and a plant. The Encompassing Ward has a sun, a water, and an earth. And the Spur on with Words of Fire has a sun, a fire, and an air. Don't love that card. Defend 2 in every land where target spirit has presence. That's interesting. Not going to help me get some fear out there. I think I'm going to go Portents of Disaster, and I'll probably end up forgetting it when that event comes back around. But for now, it'll really help me get this fear moving along. So that is that. It's crazy that if I had discarded any of those 4 cards in the last round, we wouldn't have had to. We would have been much better off with the event the way it played out. But such is life. All right. So I need to pull. I now get 3 money because of the presence phase, and I need to choose 2 of these cards to play this turn. And I'm going to play these 2. I'm going to put the $2 on this one. And then we are going to go from there. So I have unlocked, I have the 1 air here, the 2 moons, and the other air on my card. So I do have this, and then I have the 2 moons, 2 air, and a beast. I'm sorry, animal element. So I get the 2nd level of Night Terrors. My fast actions, I'm going to turn this card face up. I get to remove a explorer or a town from a land where it is the only invader. That can be very helpful. So happy about that. And then we're going to do Night Terrors, where I generate 2 fear. Alright, Dread Apparitions. When powers generate fear in target land, defend 1 fear per fear, and then generate 1 fear. So I'm going to generate 1 fear. I should have chosen a target land when I did the Night Terrors. That target land obviously would have been here. So now I have a defend of 3. 2 because of Night Terrors, 1 because Dread Apparitions itself. And then Call of Midnight Dreams, also a fast power, range 0. If invaders are present, I generate 2 more fear. So I've generated 5 fear total this turn. So I'm actually defending 5 on this sands, and they are going to ravage. Right now, their ravage is going to be a 6. 3 for the city, 2 for the town, 1 for the explorer. Hopefully that is not modified by the event deck, because I will be able to save that. The Dahan will be able to retaliate, and I'll be able to actually destroy that city, which would be very nice. So my fast powers are done. We then go to the Blighted Island effect. There is none. We go to our very important event card. Years of little rain. A terrible drought parches the land. You may let the plants die and the land wither. Or, option B would be act to ease the drought. Maybe I should have taken that card with the the water. If we let the plants die and the land wither, on each board we can discard the top minor power. If it lacks a water, we add a blight to a sands, which would kill one of my presents for sure. Because again, whenever you add blight, one presence there goes away. So that would be bad. But then the towns, cities, and Dahan would have -1 health, minimum 1 until the end of the turn, which would allow me to do even more destruction here when the Dahan retaliate. So that's one option. The other option is I can act to ease the drought. It's going to cost 4 per player aided by water. Again, like the last time when I did not have a single sun, I also do not have a single water, so it doesn't matter what that would do because I cannot do it. So we are unfortunately going to have to discard the top card and hope it has a water. It does not. Of course it doesn't, so we have to add a blight from our Healthy Island card to this sands, which means one of my presents is destroyed and I no longer have a sacred place on the board, so I will have to rectify that next turn. And I'm now 1 away from Blighted Island, which also isn't great. So each, we're going to go back to the rest of the card. Beast attack. Each beast deals 2 damage. So this beast is going to destroy this explorer. And then during Ravage in every land, defend 1 per Dahan in that land. So we're actually defended 7 here, which is pretty nice. So this event card is done. It does not get shuffled back in, unlike the Sun one. And we are going to go to our Fear event. Fear effect. We're going to remove a explorer or a town from a land where it is the only invader. We'll move an explorer from that land. It is the only invader there, which is actually really nice. And now we're going to go to Ravage. This is ravaging 6. I'm defended 7, so there's not even a Dahan wounded. The Dahan are going to retaliate with a 4. This has -1 health because of the event. So this gets destroyed with only 2. This gets destroyed with 1. It also has -1 health. And this gets destroyed all together. So with the retaliate of 4, we actually wiped everything out there. Since we destroyed a town and a city, we generate 3 fear. And we earn another fear card. And that gets us to terror level 2. This. Yay, Dahan. Alright, so the ravaging is done. We go to the build. There's nothing to build, and then we'll go to a double explore. So we have sands and mountains wherever there's a source, and there is a source in all 4 of those lands. Alright. So that is done. We are going to move the invader cards. We will do slow powers, of which we have none. We'll put that 2 energy over there, and we will now stop. All right. So we have to do our next round. I am going to. I don't have to worry about ravaging. Is there anything I want to reclaim here? Not really. Alright, so we have 4 lands we have to worry about next turn. Alright, the 2 sands, there's a beast in one, I got 2 down on the other. I'm not that worried about it. I feel pretty good about where things are at. So these 4 are played. I'm looking at these, I'm wondering if I want to reclaim one of them with one of my growth phase. I mean, the other option is I reclaim all of them, which seems like somewhat of a bad idea. I'm going to save that for next turn. Do I want to gain a new power card, which is also intriguing to me? None of these seem to exactly do what I want them to do. Okay. Ooh. I need a sacred place for this one. Not sure if I'm going to have a sacred place. Alright, we'll do this. Yeesh. Probably gonna go Blighted Island. Don't really see a way around it. Alright, I'm gonna reclaim one and add a presence. So I'm gonna add a presence here. So it has to be a presence where I already have presence, so I'm making a new sacred place on the coast. A couple of reasons for that. One, I know that we're going to level 2 cards. We do have, it decreases your chances of having to worry about stuff on the coast because of that one numbered level 2 card that is basically just coastal lands. The other reason is I want to do some interesting things with the Dahan here. And I'm hoping to get a little bit lucky with the beast being present in the middle of the board and hopefully take care of that explorer without having to worry about that land at all. Alright, so I did unlock the moon, which is going to give me some more flexibility with the innate powers. So I reclaimed one, I added the presence. I need to gain my 3 energy. I'm going to pay for Predatory Nightmares. So now I have 4 energy here, which is helpful because I do want to get to the major powers within the next couple of turns. So getting some money to be able to afford a really good one will be nice. We are going to look at the innate powers. I do have 3 moons, and I have 2 moons, and with the one on here I have the 2 air. So I have both of these unlocked. In addition, I have the 3 moons, I have the 2 air, and the 1 beast. So I'm going to be able to generate 3 fear this turn. So let's go to the innate powers. I'm going to reveal this one. This is basically we're in tier level 2 now, so during the next normal explore, we skip it. Interesting. But then we'll have 2. Might not be the worst things. We'll see how that plays out. So I don't even know if I'm going to be generating 4 fear here, but we'll see. Why does I feel like my fears? No, that's right. Right, I generated 3 fear at the end of that last turn. So that's right. So I've generated 12 fear. In total, I need 28 more to go. All right, so I've done this innate power. The extra element of anything I have at least one of doesn't help me with that, so that's fine. My other innate power, Night Terrors, I'm going to pick this land. It has invaders. I have presence. I'm going to generate 3 fear for that. I'm going to do Portents of Disaster. Invaders. There's invaders within 1 of where I have a sacred place. I'm going to generate 2 more fear. So I earn a fear card. And then, so that's done, and then this is actually a slow power. So, that being done, we're going to go to the next step. We're not blighted yet, don't have to worry about that. We're going to pull an event card, see what happens. Healthy Island. Yes, heavy farming. During the next normal ravage, each town does +1 damage. Fortunately, there's going to be it's a normal ravage, but there's nothing to ravage, so that's good. If there is no ravage this phase, leave this card by the ravage space until one happens. There is a ravage, it's just not happening. which is nice. All right. Prey on the Oeri. Each beast destroys one explorer. That worked out swimmingly. Add a beast on a board without one. We have one on this board, so we don't do that. On each board, add one Dahan to a jungle or wetland with Dahan. I'll add a Dahan to this wetland that has a Dahan. So that event card is done. We now go to fear effects. Again, we're at tower level 2. Each player may gather a explorer into a land with towns or cities, or gather a town into a land with a city. I can prevent this build, but that effectively makes this card useless. And that still might be the right move. There's no explorer. I'm not gonna. So it says may. I don't have to. I'm not gonna carry out that card. And again, that's the benefit of knowing that we're skipping the next normal explorer. So I am going to allow another town to be built here, but I'm going to be able to do things with that. And that what I'm going to be able to do is be able to generate fear. So I think that's more important with where I'm at. I feel pretty in control of where things are at because of this card. So again, the innate power of being able to see what this fear card was when I flipped it over is helpful. So we're going to skip the next normal explorer during the next invader phase, draw an additional explorer card. I'm going to put that there so I remember that we're skipping that. So fear cards are done. We are now going to do our Ravage. Ravage happens, but there is no explorers. There are no invaders in either of the jungles, so we're good there. We are now going to build. I'm going to build in this sands. We are going to not build here. There's nothing to build in that sands. We're going to build a mountain in this, a city in this mountain, and then we're going to not build here. We're just going to take this disease away, which prevents the next build. All right, we're skipping the next explore, and then we're going to move these cards over, and this comes here, and we're going to draw 2 explore cards next turn. Now, I go to my slow power phase. I'm going to do 2 damage. I can do 2 damage in a land that has invaders. That's within 1 of where I have a sacred place. So this does qualify. I have a sacred place here. I'm going to do 2 damage. This damage would destroy this town, but since this is one of my powers, this is the first time we're doing this. We're going to generate 2 fear because we would have destroyed a town, and we're going to push this town to 1 location wherever we want. I will push this town here, and then I could push up to 2 Dahan. I'm going to push these 2 Dahan here. So I want to do that. Yeah, I want to do that. So that will be fine. All right, so those 2 Dahan are there. This is done. The time passes. I'm going to take these powers over here. Now I have 0 cards, so I'm going to reclaim my cards, and I gain a power card. I will gain a minor power. I just took 5 cards. There's only 4. Sorry for that. Alright, so I have a sun, a water, a plant, and a animal. I have a sun. I'm sorry. I have a moon and an air. I have a fire and an air. I have an earth and an animal. Target inland. might as well go all out with this. And now I have to pick. So that's my growth phase. I have to go to the presence phase. I'm going to take 2 or 3 money, 3 presents. I have to pick 2 cards. Alright, I am going to pick. Definitely want to pick Dread Apparitions. I want something with an animal that's fast. So I'm gonna go back to, I think this was our second turn. So I'm gonna play Dread Apparitions for 2, and I have Call of Midnight's Dream. That does unlock all of my innate abilities from Spirits May Yet Dream, because I have 3 Moon and 2 Air, and then it will unlock my highest level of Night Terrors. So I'll be doing 3 Fear there. So we're gonna do our fast powers. I'm gonna flip over the top Fear card. Allows me to defend 2 in all lands. That's good to know. That's really good to know, actually. All right, so that's done. Oh, that's done. Yeah, I can get another element of one I already have at least one of. Doesn't really help me. I am going to do Dread Apparitions. I can do it within 1 of where I have presence. I'm going to do it here because I have presence here, so it's 1 away. I'm going to do 1 fear, and then I get 1. I defend 1 for every fear I generate in that land. So I've generated 1 so far. I'm going to generate 3 more because the night. Oh, I don't have presence there. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, so I'm going to generate. Oh, I don't have presence there. Shoot. Hold on. Audible. Audible, audible. My bad. Neither of these are great, but this is the best opportunity to use this. So I'm going to generate, I can do, so I did not unlock this. I don't have a beast, unfortunately, so I miss out on that 3 fear. But I'm going to do 2 fear because I can do within 1 of a land where I have a sacred place. So I'm going to do 2 more fear, so I'm actually defending 3 there. Alright, so I'm defending 3 here. Now, I would have taken that risk for a couple of reasons, like because again it played out a little weird. I still want to play this card, and with between the event card and my ability to generate the next fear card, it would have been a worthwhile risk to try to do that. None of these cards that have a beast to give me the opportunity to generate fear in the fast power phase. So this could I use this. I know I'm probably gonna want to forget this power as soon as the event card comes up where that's relevant. So it's good to get that out of my hand now. So there's a lot of reasons why that would have been the right move, even though it would have been kind of risky. This defend 2 obviously will really help too as we go. All right, so I'm defending 3 on my own accord based on the 1 from Dread Apparitions, which gives me 1 fear there, defend 1 per fear generated, and then the 2 from Portents of Disaster. So the fast Power phase is done. I have done both of these. We're not blighted yet. We don't have to worry about that. The event card. The missionary card is here. I will not read the whole thing. Let's look at the second option. Curse the tongues of the foreigners. We can spend 4 energy aided by sun. So I'm going to, using the aided by sun, I'm going to forget this portents of disaster. Now, since this already happened, we don't undo the power that this did. We just forget this card. So thank you for your service. And since I did that, that gives me 4 energy for that one card, since I forgot it. Each spirit can add a disease to a land with a city. Put that here. And then 2 fear per player. Generate 2 more fear, which gives me another fear card. And then during the next normal ravage, cities do +3 damage, which actually that's kind of rough. But yeah, it's not gonna go well for me. But still think that's what I should have done, and don't feel like rethinking it. So that is what it is. All right, so that was an unlucky part of that card, which I forgot about. We now go to earn fear cards. I defend 2 in all lands, so I have a total defense of 5 where it matters. And then each player may gather 1 town or explorer into a coastal land. Defend 2 in all coastal lands. That is super lucky. Alright, so my current defense here is 7. This city in itself is doing 6. That's 7. That's 8. That's 9. That's not great. So they're doing 9 damage. I'm defending 7. So I can gather a city or a explorer into a coastal land. I'm going to gather this explorer into that coastal land. So I'm defending 7. This is now doing an attack of 8 because of the way those fear cards stacked. All right, so it was 3 because of this power, another 4 because of the fear cards. So, and it's doing an attack of 8. It's normally would be attack of 5, but it's +3 because of the event card. Cool, got all that? All right, good. So we're gonna go to the Invader Actions. Invader Actions they are ravaging. There's ravaging with an 8. I am defending with a 7, so I take 1 damage. The Dahan is not destroyed. The land is not blighted. The Dahan will retaliate. They will destroy this city and generate 2 fear, because again, that is not a spirit action or a spirit power. That is the Dahan doing Dahan things. The Explorer and the Sands are going to ravage 1, not enough to cause blight. There's nothing in that Sands to ravage, and then there is a ravaging of 6, 7, 8, 9 in this mountain, which does send us into Blighted Island. Moment of truth, kids. Yikes. Blighted Island. Aid from lesser spirits. Immediately draw 1 minor power card per player plus 1 more. Give 1 to each spirit. They may be used every turn as it played, but cost no card plays energy. Place unselected card in minor powers discard pile. So I got 2 of these. I get to play 1 of these every turn. Cycles of Time and Tide allow me to add a Dahan to a coastal land that already has Dahan. The other one allows me to remove a blight from a coastal land that has no Dahan, so that's not going to be very helpful. So I'm going to take the Inflame the Fires of Life. I only put 2 blight on this card, which is not a lot. So I have my work cut out for me, but I do get this extra play every turn. So how are we doing on this fear deck? We have to generate another 14 fear, so we're just racing toward that. as quickly as possible before we get 2 more blight on there. So there is no build this turn, remember, because the event deck, remember the Invader deck got all out of whack, but we're drawing 2 Explore cards. We are going to draw the Coastal Lands and the Sand. So we'll do the Coastal Lands first. Each Coastal Land is going to get another Explorer. 1, 2, 3, and the Sands are going to get an Explorer as well. And we have our Stage 2 Escalator. On each board with cities or towns, add a town to a land without a town. We are going to add that town to here, because there's Dahan over there and there's not a blight on that land. So I think that's the best choice. Cards move, and next turn there will not be a Ravage, but there will be a double gross. Lots of build going on. Alright, so time passes. We are going to heal that Dahan. We're going to put this card over here. Remember, the other card was forgotten. And now we go to our growth phase. I am going to probably finally forget this power. We need some kind of tsunami effect or something. Jeez. So I'm going to, I want to maximize money here. So I'm going to add a presence to a land with Dahan or Invaders. I'm going to add a presence here. I'm going to keep on the top track here. I don't think it's worth trying to chase card plays. I'm still 3 rounds away from being able to add enough presence to get to a 3rd card play, and this Infinite Fires of Life will help. And honestly, I just don't think I have the time with only having a blight card that only has 2 blight, so I really need to get cranking here. So I'm going to add that presence. You know what? This is probably more dangerous in a sense because we have a disease here, which is going to prevent that build. So I'm going to add, I can do within 4. That's actually adjacent to the sand, so we'll do that. And I'm going to get 2 energy from the growth phase. I'm going to get 4 energy now from the presence phase. And then the 2 cards I'm going to pick are going to be that one and I want one with a this one actually is oddly good for me right now. Alright, so let me look at my innate powers. I have all of these innate powers because I have the 2 moons, I have the 2 air, and I have the 3 moons there. I am then going to I have all of these. I have 3 moons, 2 air, and an animal, and I also have this one here as well. So when the time comes, I will have 3 animals, and I will be able to do both of those things, which will help generate some fear. None of this costs any money. Remember, I do not have to pay for that. As per the Blighted Island instructions, I can play that without counting as a card play or without having to pay any energy for it. So, fast powers. Let's do innate power. I'm going to gain an animal. I'm going to gain an animal because I'm going to forget this power most likely. And when I do, I want to make sure I still have 3 animals to be able to do both of those things, because I think that'll be really helpful. Right? I'm going to be able to turn the top card of the fear deck over. Allows me to add a strife in a land with or adjacent to beast. The invaders skip their normal explore and build on lands with beast. That's interesting. Not sure that's helpful, but it's interesting. Shoot, I wish my beast was somewhere else in light of that realization. I'm going to generate 3 fear. I have to pick a target land where I have presence that also has invaders. Fine, I'll pick here, and I'm going to generate 3 fear. So this card comes down. We are now in terror level 3, and this is done. Put this here to remind myself that I can do both of these. So if target land has Dahan, I will do target land here. I can gain a major power. So I'm going to gain my first major power. Yes. I'm going to forget this power. I'm going to gain energy equal to the number of Dahan there. There are 2 Dahan there, so I gain 2 energy. And I'm going to immediately play this card, paying its cost. So there's a 2 energy I just got, plus the 3 I had. So I have Pillar of the Living Flame, which will allow me to do 5 damage, which in essence will let me push a whole lot of stuff. I just don't want to target a jungle or wetland because I do not want to add a blight. Do not have 4 fire, but being able to push some towns should be really useful here. All right, so thank you, major power, and I put the money over there. I'll just keep it on the card to be consistent. So I have no other fast powers, so we're good to go. We're going to go to the Blighted Island effect. There is no continuing effect with this one. We are going to do the earn fear card. We're going to add a strife in a land with or adjacent to a land with a beast. So these are the strife tokens. The strife, based on the next ravage, you subtract the attack of that unit that would. So say you put this under a town. If the town would attack 2 during the ravage phase, now you just subtract the 2 of that town. I'm going to put this one. It's a little weird, but with how this board's playing out, I'm actually going to put this here. So I put it under that explorer, so that 1 attack from the explorer is going to go away, which I think will give me some options that make sense. Alright, so that is done. We skip the next explorer build and lands with beast. Alright, so I'm going to put this here to remind me of that. The next event card comes off. We are blighted. So in each board, blight spreads. Add 1 blight to a land adjacent to a land with blight. Spirits may prevent this on any or all boards by destroying 2 of their presence from each board to be protected. I do need to protect that. So I'm going to destroy this presence. I only have 2 blights. I just can't really risk that. That presence, and I'm going to destroy this presence, which is crazy, but it has to be done. Each beast generates 1 fear if invaders are present. They are. There's that explorer that counts. On each board, add a Dahan to an inland land with Dahan. So I'm going to add a Dahan inland land. The only option I have is this jungle over here. This card is done. So we're going to go to the Invader Actions. Invaders are going to build in coastal lands. So they're going to build 1 town here. They're going to not build here because of the disease, which prevents it, and they're going to build 1 town here. They're going to build in sands now, so they're going to build 1 city here, and they're going to build 1 town here. Nope. They don't take, invaders skip their normal explorer build on lands with beasts, so that build doesn't exactly happen. Alright, so we're going to then go to the explorer. We're exploring into mountains. There's an escalator. On each board with towns or cities, add a town to a land without a town. I'm going to add it to this. I think there's a town in every other land. And then we're exploring into mountains. So we need to generate fear very quick, because if this mountain ravages, we are going to cascade and lose this game. So I am 10 fear away from winning this thing. Let's see what I can do. So I am going to use the Pillar of a Living Fame. My target land has to be within a range of 2 of where I have a sacred place. I'm going to do it. I have a sacred place here, so this counts. I'm going to generate 3 fear. So 2 down, remainder of 1, this card comes down. And then I can do 5 damage. I'm going to do 5 damage. I'm going to destroy this city and this town. Since I destroyed a city and a town, instead of them being destroyed, I just generate a total of 7 fear, 5 for the city, 2 for the town. So 7 fear, so this is 3. That generates a fear card. And then we do, this goes up, and then 4 more. That generates a fear card. Fear victory, we win. I mean, if I didn't win, I could push all these out here. And then I have this card that allows me to push an explorer and do 2 fear and then 1 more fear. It is just a fear bonanza up in this piece. So that is that. Look, Bringers of Dreams and Nightmares is a funny god, or spirit. I don't love it. I don't play it often. This is not like, hey, I'm gonna go play with the Bringers of Dreams and Nightmares. But when you really figure out how to work with him, how to just chase as much fear as you can, you'd be surprised on your ability to beat some of the adversaries, even on the highest levels, or at least get close. Maybe not 5 or 6 might be tough, but 3, 4 with the adversaries, you can really do some things pretty quick, and just, again, you're pouring out that fear. So generating 40 fear when you have an innate power that'll let you get 2 from the first round, and then you're getting 2, 3 here, 4 here, 2 here. We get to a place where you can destroy a city. I mean, that's 1/8 of the fear you need for the game, just from one city. So you definitely got to get a little lucky where the initial builds are. The fact that you can't move cities, you definitely want to have at least 1 turn early where the Dahan are doing your dirty work for you, because you can't. So that was really nice when we were able to destroy everything in this land when both the cities and the towns had 1 less health. So got some good fortune that went our way, for sure, and made this a much easier the victory than it needed to be. But I'm not gonna complain. Thematically, Bringers of Dreams and Nightmares, that was just too much. The 7 fear generated there, everyone got scared, and they all just went all the way home, back to Bradenburg-Prussia. I guess the Dahan would have stayed, so we'll put them back. But thematically, that's how a fear victory works, is that you just created such an inhospitable island that the powers that be in Bradenburg-Prussia decided it was time to get on out of there. But that's that. So thanks for joining me on another episode of Solo Playthroughs. If you have any questions, comments, epiphanies, please put them below. I'm more than happy to read them and get back to you when I can. There will be another video. Again, every Sunday, 9 o'clock-ish, I put one out. So we will be back at everyone's favorite island before too long. And in the meantime, happy gaming. Thanks for joining.